Hello everyone, welcome to the course Information System and Engineering Economics. This is the third session on Unit 5, that is Economics and Management. The learning objective of this session is that student of computer engineering should understand the concept of annual equivalence analysis and will be able to answer the questions such as how to determine the equivalent annual worth for given project, or one can answer how to determine the capital cost when you purchase a asset, and how to determine the unit cost of profit. After completion of today's session, I am expecting that you will be definitely familiar with this concept. You might be eager to know where exactly this conceptual understanding will be used by computer engineer. So it will be useful for us to carry out a comparative analysis of software enterprises from somewhat similar domain. While working with software organization, you will be able to compare various enterprises modeling approaches with respect to their ability to capture and represent strategy notation. Next, we will take a quick review of our previous session, that is present worth analysis. From the last session, we are discussing Unit 5, that is Economics and Management, in which we briefly discussed the present worth analysis. We learn the importance of careful consideration given to the time period conveyed by analysis. After that, we briefly discussed the term cash flow, in which we learn two major types such as revenue cash flow and cost cash flow. We reviewed the alternative methods such as net present value, then profitability index, and after that internal rate of return. We conclude our previous session with the discussion payout method. This is the summary of session 2. Next, we will see the contents of today's lecture. We just saw the summary of our previous unit. We plan to learn about economics and management. Okay, the contents of this session, as we begin with annual equivalent worth criteria, which is used for measuring the worth of investment by determining equal payments on an annual basis. Then we will proceed to learn about annual equivalent cost, in which you will learn two types of cost. First is operating cost and second is capital cost. After that, we will proceed to learn about benefits of AE analysis. Here, we will discuss the benefits of AE over NPW analysis. Then it is interesting to learn phases and stages in LLC, in which we will learn 5 stages such as launch stage, growth stage, shakeout, maturity, and decline stage. This is the roadmap for our session. Next, we will see what exactly the criteria for annual equivalent worth analysis. Dear student, henceforth we are studying a fundamental decision rule based on annual equivalence worth by considering both revenue and cost stream of a project. If revenue stream are irrelevant, then we make a decision solely on the basis of cost. This leads to a popular decision tool known as life cycle cost analysis. So, it is necessary to know what exactly the annual equivalent worth criteria. The annual equivalent worth criteria provide a basis for measuring the worth of investment by determining equal payments on an annual basis. Knowing that any lump sum cash amount can be converted into a series of equal annual payment, we may first find the net present worth of the original series and then multiply this amount by the capital recovery factor, which is given by this equation. First we find the net present worth, that is of the original series, that is A given P, I and then N. Then multiply this amount by PW, that is capital recovery factor, where A is the uniform amount per interest period, P is the present value of the amount, I is the interest rate, and N is the expected life of an asset. A given P value can be calculated by using the formula shown here. Simply by putting the value of interest rate I and the lifespan N value in this formula, we can easily able to calculate A given P. So this is the equation for annual worth calculation. Now there will be a accept and reject selection. So accept reject selection rule for single revenue, that is, if AE is greater than 0, then accept the investment. If AE is equal to 0, then remain indifferent to the investment. If AE less than 0, then reject the investment. Note that this NPW factor, that is A given P factor in this equation, is what positive, indicate that value of AE will be positive if and only if PW is positive. In other words, accepting a project that has a positive AE is equivalent to the accepting project that has positive PW. Therefore, the AE criteria for evaluating a project is consistent with NPW criteria. So this is the thing associated with the annual worth criteria. Next, we will see the cash flow cycle. Now we learn annual worth calculation with repeating cash flow cycle. In some situation, a cyclic cash flow pattern may be observed over the life of the project. Generally, in many situations, we first computed the net present worth of the entire cash flow and then calculate the annual equivalent worth, that is AE. But we can compute the AE by examining the first cash flow cycle. Then we can calculate the NPW for the first cash flow cycle and derive the AE over that cycle. This shortcut method, which gives the same result when the net present worth of the entire project is calculated, and then the annual equivalent worth can be computed from NPW. Comparing mutually exclusive alternative, when two or more mutually exclusive alternatives need to be compared on the basis of annual equivalent worth. So in previous lecture session, we discussed the general principle that should be applied when mutually exclusive alternative with unequal services lies where it need to be compared. The same general principle should be applied in comparing mutually exclusive alternatives on the basis of annual equivalent worth, that is mutually exclusive alternative in equal time spans need to be compared. For this reason, we analyze the equal time period with two situations, such as the analysis period equal project lives, then the analysis period with different from project lives. With situation 1, we compute the AE for each project and select the project that has the least negative AE for the service project. With situation 2, we need to consider the issue of unequal project lives. As we already know that comparing project with unequal service lives is complicated by the need of determining the lowest common multiple life. So this is with respect to the repeating cash flow cycle. Now we will proceed to learn about capital cost versus operating cost. When only costs are involved, the AE method is sometimes called the annual worth equivalent cost, abbreviated as AEC. In this method, or in this case, revenues must cover two kinds of cost. First is the operating cost and second is the capital cost. Operating costs are incurred through the operation of physical plant or equipment needed to provide service. For example, include items such as labor and the raw material, while the capital costs are incurred by purchasing the asset to be used in production and service. Normally, capital costs are non-recurring, that is one time. We call it as a one-time cost, whereas operating costs recur for as long as an asset is owned. Because operating costs recur over the life of a project, they tend to estimate on an annual basis. Anyway, so for the purpose of annual equivalent cost analysis, there is no special calculation is required. However, because capital costs tend to be one-time cost in conducting an annual equivalent cost analysis, we must translate this one-time cost into its annual equivalent over the life of the project. I hope you understand what exactly the difference between operating cost and the capital cost. So next we will learn what exactly the term capital recovery cost. The annual equivalent of a capital cost is a special name, that is capital recovery cost, designated at CR. The two general monetary transactions are associated with the purchase and eventually retirement of capital assets, that is the initial cost and then the salvage cost or salvage value, denoted by S. Taking into account these sum, we calculate the capital recovery factor, such as capital recovery cost CR is equal to initial cost, that is A given P, and the salvage value, that is F given A. Since we are calculating the equivalent annual cost, we treat the cost item with a positive sign. Then the salvage value is treated having a negative sign. Understand this, why we are taking the negative sign? So we may interpret this situation to obtain the machine. Suppose one borrow a total of I dollar, the S dollar of which are returned at the end of the nth year. The balance, that is I minus S, will be paid back in equal installment over the n period of at the rate of I, while I present in a salvage equation implies that simple interest in the amount of IS is paid on the S unit. It is repaid, that is A given P can be calculated using the formula, while A given F, that is the future worth value, can be calculated using this formula, which is nothing but the uniform series of sinking fund, where A is the uniform amount per interest period and P is the present value of the amount I. Therefore, this CR tells us what exactly the bank would charge each year. Many auto leases are based on this agreement, in that most of the required guaranteed of US dollar in the salvage. From industry viewpoint, this CR is the annual cost to the firm of owning the assets. With this information, the amount of annual saving required to recover the capital and operating cost associated with a project that can be determined using this formula. So next we will see what are the benefits of AE analysis. In general, most engineering economics analysis problem can be solved by present worth method. However, some economic analysis problem can be solved more efficiently by annual worth analysis. There are several applications that call such as an analysis. Let's see what are the benefits of such analysis over the net present worth analysis. The benefits of AE analysis, in the real world, a number of situations can occur in which AE analysis is preferred over even demand or NPW analysis. For example, corporation issue annual reports and develop yearly budgets. For this purpose, company may find it more useful to present the annual cost or benefit of an ongoing project rather than its overall cost or benefit. Now, we will see some additional situation in which AE analysis is preferred. First is consistency of report format. For example, financial managers commonly work with annual report rather than overall cost in any number of internal and external report. Engineering managers may be required to submit project analysis on an annual basis for consistency and ease of use by other members of the corporation and the stakeholders. So, the need for unit cost or profit. In many situations, the project must be broken into unit cost for ease of comparing with alternatives. Make or buy and reimbursement analysis are the key example of need for unit cost or profit. The next is life cycle cost analysis. When there is no need for estimating the revenue stream for a proposed project, we can consider only the cost stream of the project. In that case, it is common to convert this life cycle cost into an equivalent annual cost for the purpose of comparison. Industry has used the LCC, that is life cycle cost, to help determine which project will having less cost over the life of a product. This LCC analysis had a long tradition in the Department of Defense, having been applied to virtually every new weapon system proposed or under development. These are the benefits of AE analysis. Then unit profit or cost calculation. In many situations, we need to know the unit profit. Sometimes it is called the cost of operating an assets. To obtain this quantity, we need to determine the number of units to be produced, sometimes serviced in each year over the life of the asset. As we know that it identifies the cash flow series associated with production of service over the life of the asset. Else, one can calculate the net present worth of the project cash flow series at a given interest rate and then determine the equivalent annual worth analysis. By adopting these steps, we can able to know the unit profit or unit cost of the operating and assets. So these are the benefits of AE analysis. Now we will learn in detail about the life cycle cost analysis. On this slide we just understand the term life cycle cost. So annual worth analysis of a permanent investment. The learning objective of this term is to learn about perpetual life, so that you will be able to evaluate alternatives with very long lives using this AW analysis. Another learning objective is to know about the LCC analysis, so that you will be able to perform the life cycle cost analysis using the AW method. Evaluation of public sector projects such as flood control, then dam irrigation for the canals, then bridges or other large scale project require the comparison of alternative that have such long lives that they may be considered infinite in economic analysis term. For this type of analysis, the annual worth, that is the capital recovery amount of the initial investment, is perpetual annual interest on the initial investment. Cash flow recurring at regular or irregular interval are handled exactly as in conventional AW computations, in which we convert them to equivalent uniform annual amounts. For example, initial investment for one cycle. This automatically analyzes them for each succeeding life cycle. Additional cost involved when the complete project life cost are evaluated. What are the additional cost? The additional cost means the present worth cost and annual worth cost analysis technique discussed so far have concentrated on the estimate for the first cost P, that is present cost, then annual operating cost and maintenance cost, that is AOC or salvage value S, and predictable. The periodic repair and the upgrade cost may be considered in that one. So life cycle cost analysis utilize AW or PW methods to evaluate cost estimate for the entire life cycle of one or more project. That estimate will cover the entire lifespan from the early conceptual stage through the design and development stage, throughout the operating stage, and even the phase out and the disposal stages. Some typical LLC are considered in this scenario, which consider the lifespan analysis for military and commercial aircraft, as well as suppose there will be a new manufacturing plant or the new automobile model, then expected product line and the government system at federal and the state level. So this is the LCC budget and analysis in the ongoing proposal for the most defense system. Now we will proceed to learn something detail about the life cycle cost analysis. So life cycle cost analysis is appropriate for a system that have large percentage of cost in operating and maintenance. Most commonly, the LCC analysis include the cost and the AW method that is used for analysis, especially if only one alternative is evaluated. Public sector projects are usually evaluated using a benefits cost analysis rather than LCC analysis, because the estimate to the citizenry are difficult to make much accuracy. LCC analysis is most effectively applied when substantial percentage of the lifespan relative to the initial investment will be spent in direct and indirect operating maintenance, and similarly the cost once the system is operational, that is going to be considered in this analysis. So these are the things associated with life cycle cost analysis. Now it is interesting to learn about the phases that are involved in LCC. So to understand how a LCC analysis work, first we must understand the phases and stages of system engineering or system development. Generally, LCC estimate may be categorized into a simplified format for the major phases of acquisition, operation, and phase out or disposable and their respective stages. Let's begin with the first phase, that is acquisition phase. In acquisition phase, all the activities prior to the delivery of the product and service are carried out. Then requirement definition stage, which include determination of users or customers needs, that assessing them relative to the anticipated system, and after that their preparation of the system requirement for the documentation purpose. After that, preliminary design stage, that include the feasibility study, conceptual and early stages plan, and final go, that is whether no to go decision is probably made here. Then next stage is detailed design stage, that include detailed plan for the resources, that is capital resource, human resource, facilities, information system, then marketing. There is some acquisition of assets. If economically justifiable, then second phase is operation phase. In this operation phase, all the activities are functioning. Functioning in the sense that whatever the products and the services are available, that has to be checked. There are two important stages in this phase. What is that? First is the construction and implementation stage, which include purchase, then construction and implementation of system, as well as there will be a certain system component that has to be considered. They need to be tested and then prepare for the construction and implementation stage. Then next is usage stage. In this usage stage, the system is to be generated product and services. The largest portion of the life cycle is considered in usage stage. The final phase in system engineering is phase out and the disposable phase. It covers all the activities to transition to a new system for recycling or the disposable of old system. So this is the overview of how the costs are distributed over an entire life cycle. For some system, typically defense system, operating and maintenance costs rise fast after the acquisition and remain high until the phase out of the occurrence. So next we will see one case study. As per the curriculum, we have a case study based on Unit 5, that is Economics and Management. The title of the case study is Comparative Analysis of Software Enterprise from Similar Domain. The learning objective of this case study is that students should able to describe an individual situation in the sense, suppose you have to perform certain case, for example a business organization or the institution. So he or she should identify the key issues of the case as well as analyze the case using relevant theoretical concept from the unit you had just learned. So let's begin with this case study. When it comes to carry out the comparative analysis between the software enterprise from similar domain, the obvious choice for any person would be the highly competitive and growing e-commerce market of India. Why it becomes a very interesting case study is because it increasing the battle between the top three players in Indian e-commerce arena, and that two when the losses for the three major players are rising at an alarming pace. The top three players in Indian e-commerce market are the Flipkart with an estimate market share of 40%, followed by Snapdeal at second position with 30% share, and last but not the least of the top of these two is the Amazon with an estimated market share of 20%. This is the picture of the Indian e-commerce industry. Although Amazon is the latest enter in this market, it has crossed $1 billion in sales and is growing at rapid pace. Flipkart, the first and the nicest e-commerce market of India, the Sachin and Binny, who were formed the employee of Amazon, the founder initially thought of a price comparison website and aggregator of e-commerce site, but they realized that there were hardly any e-commerce site in India. Then they decided to launch their own e-commerce site. So Flipkart, based on their experience with Amazon, the brothers innovated and offered many first like 24 into 7 customer support, cash on delivery, which was very unique and tailor-made for the Indian market, as well as the return policy. The Flipkart model is similar to that Amazon and bank on controlling the end-to-end value chain. That is, right from procurement to delivery is controlled by the service provider. This Snapdeal is the next enter in the e-commerce market. Snapdeal was founded in the year of 2010 by Kunal Bhal and Rohit Bansal in 2010. Snapdeal is a daily deals website that features the discount offer across the lifestyle segment such as dining, health and beauty, as well as entertainment and travel. It also offers the discounting on product like electronics, perfume, watches, bags and so on. Then next is Amazon. This Amazon, which launched in India in 2013, so Flipkart was founded, and 3 years after, Snapdeal already has a formidable presence in the country. The company's investment committed in India to have higher total funds. So next is the challenges. The challenges, the common thread between all these three e-commerce giants is that they adverse aggressively on televisions and print to build their recall value. They battle to be the first announce category launches, new services and funding. Then the question arises, it seems that no one want to go back of the fight, which is the bleeding them all. As the new entered into the management of any of the three companies, would your advice to stem the road? Will you advise them to compare on continuous new offering and more selection of the product and services for the faster delivery? Will low price still remain the defining factor, or will other dominate? How can these e-tailers innovate to reduce the sellers' expenses? How the gap funding can be reduced or eliminated? This study market try to find the answer of this question. So next we will summarize our today's session. We begin with the introduction of annual equivalent worth criteria. We get to know about AW with repeating cash flow cycle. We briefly discuss the capital recovery cost. We review the life cycle cost analysis and discuss the case study, that comparative analysis of software enterprise from similar domain. Next, we will see certain study question based on today's. You have to solve the 4 assignment question and upload the solution to Google Classroom within due date. The first question is, why is annual equivalence analysis preferred over present worth analysis method? Then second question is, what are the major phases and stages in LLC? Then third question, what are the benefits of AE analysis over NPW? And the one last question is, a printing press owner is in a dilemma as he has to select between 2 machines with similar printing capabilities. Help him in arriving at a decision based on the polling data provided by him. Also, the minimum rate of return is 10% per year. So you have to solve this study question. So next is we will start learning unit 6, that is understanding cash flow and taxes from unit 6. We will review the first module, that is accounting for depreciation. The basics fundamental of unit 6 are available in this textbook. You can go through this textbook for better understanding of the next unit. If you have any query or the question or difficulty in solving the assignment question, feel free to post your queries at the forum of our Google Classroom. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.